My story is titled Setting Your Mind to Improve and Inspire. Bear with me. As I've learned, stroke recovery is a process, and no two people recover from a stroke in the exact same way. Regaining full physical and cognitive function after a stroke takes hard work, dedication, and there are plenty of approaches you can take. Every one of us is unique. This is my story and my journey. Once upon a time, in September 2016, 2 years ago this month, I suffered a Pons ischemic stroke. A blood clot that was at the stem of my brain that affected my dominant right side, and I spent 7 days in ICU and a full month in acute care. And I avoided some complications of a second stroke in December of that year, when in my doctor's office, while I was having a monthly exam, the stroke symptoms were happening. I was rushed to the ER, and the team administered the TPA IV immediately, and I spent 6 days in ICU. While the root cause was never really determined of both strokes, I learned that over 40% of them might never ever have a source. My journey begins with a team of therapists that have changed my life.
You go, girl. You go, girl. Kill it.
This team of therapists that have changed my life, they have made all of my experiences rewarding. They are a gift from God. Excuse me. And many of them are here today. In fact, I no longer think of them as therapists, but as lifelong friends. They have made my journey so rewarding, and if not for the stroke, we would have never met. My therapies included a very broad set of experiences because I didn't want to miss any opportunity to improve. So I tried all that were available. I stuck to a rigorous schedule of 4 hours a day, 6 days a week, for a solid year and 9 months, just to get to where I am today. The therapies included physical, occupational, water, hyperbaric oxygen chamber, cranial acupuncture, acupressure, dog therapy, both during rehab, and my own 2 little fox terriers, and virtual reality, giving me an intro into golf. The success of these therapies have gotten me back into life, and now I have even hired a golf coach who is also in the audience, and I am putting and driving golf balls a few days a week, and I love it. My daily inspiration begins with my loving husband and soulmate of 30 years. Thank you. Also my family, prayer, close friends, and my personal caregiver. While each day on my journey to get back to the community was difficult, and some days more challenging than others, I had to remind myself to keep focused on what I personally refer to as the 3 P's: patience, positive, and practice. Patience, being patient with my progress during rehabilitation. Positive, keeping a positive attitude no matter what happens or how I feel that day. And practice. Practice what I learned in therapy in order to keep improving. I also learned that at different times we can be an inspiration to each other, and new stroke survivors might be looking to us for that inspiration. One of the greatest lessons I have learned is I own my recovery. So I try to keep an open mind to new technology. Currently, I'm using a Sabo glove that is aiding me to open and close my right hand. Also this week, I began using the music glove to assist with fingertip touch. Earlier, I mentioned VR, virtual reality. Now think about this a minute. I'm taking a headset, covering it over my eyes, holding on to 2 controls. I felt transported to a new world in 2 seconds. And this is how I felt. My energy increased. I was excited. My mobility was increasing. I felt like I was using 100% of my body, and my brain switched into a whole new world when I did VR. Bottom line, it helped me to use a non-dominant hand to hold a fork, use a computer to type, brush my teeth, and put on makeup. You can experience VR here today, and I encourage you, because MVI Health, a division of Penumbra, is here with a demo right at the entrance to the building. Be curious and think about stretching yourself to try something new. I did by trying many of these therapies and life activities, and I found they truly did help me. I needed to push myself at times to get back into the community. So Bob and I scheduled events that gave me something to aim for, and boy did we. They included business dinners that required a few new preparation experiences. Get a load of this. I taught Bob how to place false eyelashes on my eyelids. We spent my birthday in Carmel walking on sand at the beach and also walking on uneven and cobblestone sidewalks. We attended an outside wedding across wet grass, gravel, and even delicate flower petals. We booked an international flight and spent 5 days in London, England, dealing with airports, airplanes, hotels, crowded sidewalks, and even getting in and out of those infamous black cabs. Also, we spent a few U.S. trips to Las Vegas, Park City, and recently Pittsburgh, where we were so proud to help celebrate my father-in-law's 91st birthday. The fun part of all these experiences is Bob and my therapist had real-world goals for me to conquer, and all of them used these as a target to getting me physically and mentally ready. They often say the journey is the reward. And so I feel fortunate to experience all of these new things that I have discovered on my new journey. As I wind down on this story, and as a gentle reminder to everyone in the audience, fast, FAST is the stroke acronym for signs of a stroke occurring to someone. Always be cautious and be ready. And they are F, facial drooping, A, arm numbness, S, speech impediment, and T, time to call 911. In closing, I'd like to leave you with a quote that Bob and I have the wall in the study of our home. It is from Napoleon Hill. He's a famous author from the early 1900s. And he said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve."
Say it again.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And it's appropriate, since we're at a golf event, that I'd also like to acknowledge Tiger Woods on his 80th tournament win this past Sunday. Great comeback, Tiger. If anyone has any questions for me, I will be around. But I'd also like to thank you for your patience with me getting over that rough little road in the beginning. But this was very emotional, and I greatly appreciate it. And I send all the best to each and every one of you. Thank you.